Hi, good evening. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast. Wow. Are we entering a dictatorship? Have you heard about Starmer overnight? They dropped 27 illegal migrants into a old army camp. 500 are going to go there. If it was all above board and there wasn't a problem, why did they do it in the dead of night? This government never listens to you. I've asked as my question today, Starmer, will he ever do what we want? Or does he just ignore us in favour of the illegals and the people who are breaking our laws? Got a view? I want to hear it. Put it in the comments and we'll get talking. There is so much to talk about tonight. So I'm talking about Crowborough, in case you're wondering. Starmer's midnight migrant drop is what I'm calling it. 500 illegals are going to be bussed into that old army camp. It's a army cadet and RAF training centre. They've spent a fortune doing it up. There's been protests for months. It's right in the countryside. So they're now going to put them there. And I've just been watching Shabina Mahmood, the Home Secretary. She says this will be the first of many. I need to get them out of their hotels. Well, on that level, I agree with her. I even agree with her putting them in army camps. The thing that I fundamentally disagree with, they're not going to lock them up. So there's 500 undocumented, illegal migrants, criminals, because they've broken in illegally. They are going to be put in, say, this camp in Crowborough. There's a little village down the road, Crowborough itself. They will be allowed to come and go as they wish. How can that be sensible? How can that be safe? I'm not saying put them in prisons, although I'd have just deported the lot already. But what I am saying is you can't let them come and go. That's as bad, if not worse, than when they're in the hotels. It's like homes of multiple occupation or whatever they're called. They're dangerous as well. Remember the girl who got raped in Leamington Spa? He was in one of those homes of multiple occupation. He was also Afghan, or there's two of them, Afghan illegal immigrants. Today, there's been another one who did get in legally, but then overstayed his welcome, and he's raped somebody else. It's not like these incidents haven't happened. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every person who gets out of those dinghies at Dover is a sex offender or a potential rapist. But it only takes one, doesn't it, to ruin a young girl's or a young woman's life. Have you heard that woman today talking about when she was attacked? So what I'm saying here, and this is the thing that I'm fundamentally angry about today, is that Brits, the people like you and me who pay our taxes, abide by the laws, we are always constantly ignored. Because local residents in Crowborough, just like at the Bell Hotel in Epping, they said they don't want this on their doorstep. But last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, as the rain came down, Starmer and Shabina Mahmood bussed in the first 27. If it was all above board and not a problem, why are they doing it in the dark? Why are they trying to make sure that the protesters didn't see? It's backfired spectacularly because there's a massive demo there now. Why would you take them in at 3 o'clock in the morning unless you were trying to hide it? Total secrecy. And that it's been done against fierce local opposition. Over 500, listen to me, 500 undocumented men, and the Home Office have confirmed this, it will only be men of fighting age, of course, are now going to be housed at this former military training camp that is not, this is the thing to really stress, it's not a detention centre. They are free to come and go as they please. This is madness. This is lunacy. This is playing Russian roulette with your wife, your mum, your daughter, your sister's safety. I thought the first duty of any Prime Minister, Mr. Starmer, and you keep going on about it, was the protection of his own people. That seems to have gone out of the window. Because right across Britain, right across the United Kingdom, hundreds of serious, and I mean serious, sexual and violent crimes have already been linked to illegal migrants. It's over 500. So no one's making this up. This isn't a tabloid headline. This isn't the far right. But the Labour government carries on regardless. What is it about Starmer and his government? No matter how many U-turns, 14 and counting, he's so incredibly arrogant, he thinks he knows better than you and I. Really, Mr. Starmer? Is that why you didn't go yesterday? Because you were scared stiff of seeing Donald Trump? Now you want to have a fight with him. You need your head examining. I tell you what you do need is removing from office. If you're agreeing with what I'm saying, please feel free to write a comment, because today it's Crowborough, but it could be your neighbourhood next. I've just watched Shabina Mahmood, and she said, this is what we're going to do. And I know it's going to be uncomfortable for some people, but this is the way to solve the problem. No, it's not. The way to solve the problem is to deter, detain, and deport. So what you have to do is put them off. So I can see that putting them into an army camp rather than putting them into a 4-star luxury hotel, which is obviously what the Conservatives were doing, is ridiculous. I see that. So that will deter some of them. But it won't be the whole thing, will it? If they're then told on their mobile phones, oh, yeah, well, this is where we're staying. It's an old army camp. But look, here's the local village. Here's the local pub. Here's this local girl that I'm harassing. You can't have a position where these people can come and go, particularly when we know how many offences have already been committed. It's sheer lunacy. You are playing Russian roulette with our people, and you've got no right to do that, Starmer. You're a bloody disgrace. Put them in the army camps. Lock them up, though. Don't allow them out. How difficult is that? I've seen that camp at Crowborough. Plenty of room for them to play football, exercise. If you want to take them on an organised trip, you can do that. But you don't just let them out every morning, not knowing where they've gone, because, let's be honest, they can't be going to work because they're not allowed to. There's a whole debate about that, separate to this debate. But you cannot do this, Starmer. Why are our women and our girls being forced to carry Starmer's risk? Anyone who's killed or anybody who's injured, their blood is on Starmer's and Mahmood's hands. Do you agree with me? And also, why are British communities never asked, only ever told that this is going to happen? Last night was the best example I can see in this whole sorry saga. They moved them in under darkness. And it also feels to me, and I might be wrong here, so tell me off if I am, but I'm just trying to find a note I wrote on my phone. Why do illegals seem to get priority whilst locals get silenced? We saw this at the Bell Hotel in Epping. Those women, the pink ladies, as they began to be called, they said, look, our girls are being molested. They are being verbally insulted when they go to school, when they walk through town. They were almost accused of being far right until the government realised, oh, they're just ordinary housewives. We better not describe them like that. But wherever else there's been these protests, it's always this mythical far right. No, it's savages who don't know how to behave, who come from a totally different culture, who look at women in a totally different way to the way we do. We've had the age of enlightenment. We've had feminism. We've got a position where women are equal, where you can't just rape them the moment that they hit their periods. And I don't want to weaken that, do you? But it seems that Starmer doesn't give an SH1T. He is deliberately, in my opinion, gambling with public safety. Do you agree? And Shabina Mahmood, well, she must be asleep at the wheel, although I've just seen her on the 6 o'clock news or the 5 o'clock news, whatever it was. I don't think she is asleep. I think she's complicit. She doesn't seem to think it's a problem. Let's talk about the woman who was working, cooking breakfast and stuff at the asylum centre, whatever you want to call it, illegal migrant centre in Warsaw. Got stabbed 19 times in the head on a train platform and died. What about the bloke walking his dog, stabbed to death by an Afghan? What about the girl in Leamington, raped by 2 Afghan savages? And he didn't even realise what he was doing was wrong. Oh, it's not like that where I come from. Well, I'll tell you what, knob off back to where you did come from. These people, putting them in army camps, I've been saying that's a good idea. It is. But you've got to lock them up. I've been saying put them in army camps and in tents. Tents that our troops go in when we go to deal with a flood in Pakistan or Jamaica, places like that. If it's good enough for our boys, it'll be good enough for them. I'm not talking about treating them badly, but this whole idea that they get treated better than the people who live in the community. We've had the stories about the council houses being built for them, and they'll get priority. This is a powder keg. And stories like this one today, where they move people in overnight in the dark, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's not an accident. That's not a scheduling problem. That's deliberate to con you. And you know what the worst thing is? You're paying for it. And when we do dare to object, what does this Labour government do? They cancel local elections. And they shut down, bang, democracy. 29 councils are not going to be having an election. I think it's a disgrace. And then today we hear that Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, might stand for election. This is the latest wizard wheeze, up against Starmer. Starmer's days are numbered. We know that. But I love the arrogance of Labour again, that they think, oh, well, we'll put Andy up and he'll win. I wouldn't bet on Andy Burnham winning a Red Wall seat at the moment. Would you? Would you? No, you wouldn't. Because you've got both Reform and that idiot Jack Polanski. They're both going to take votes off Labour. What annoys me about all this so much is that borders are being ignored. Local communities are overruled. And safety is being sacrificed on the altar of political correctness. This is the big question, when will this government, and indeed the Conservatives before them, but Starmer's in power now, when will this government put Brits first? What is your opinion? And it does tie in to the idea now that they think, oh, we'll get rid of Starmer, we'll have Andy Burnham, but there's a lot of ifs in that. What about the fact that Starmer's so arrogant, and that stupid Yvette Cooper, who, when she was the Home Secretary, the boats' arrivals went through the roof. She's now the Foreign Secretary, took over from Lammy. What a success he was, the Jaffa Cake King. She doesn't want to join Trump's peace movement. Why not? I'll tell you what peace is happening. They're taking the peace out of us. Thank God yesterday Trump won, because he did. Don't go on this spin. They've given him basically what he wanted. We need a tough, strong leader like that, somebody who wants to make Britain great again. And then if you think I'm getting carried away, let's talk about Lammy again. What did he want to get rid of? Jury trials. Oh, there's a surprise. So next time it kicks off, when another rape happens, because this is what's going to happen. Suddenly it's going to break and people aren't going to take it anymore. He'll be able to lock you up. He'll get the judges sending you down without a trial, but on TV. This is such a worrying, frightening time. He doesn't listen. Labour don't listen to the very people who elected him and them. 14 U-turns proves it. And then, of course, we've got the Chagos Isles. No, I haven't met anybody who thinks it's a good idea to sell that off, but he's going to do it. That decision has been taken. But he said that loads of times and had to U-turn. We are in a terrible position. Then you've got the Chinese embassy, the biggest Chinese takeaway ever. No, they're not opening a takeaway, but they're going to rip us off, aren't they? Look at those cars that are basically an exact copy of Range Rovers. They're doing it already, and now we're going to say, oh, come in, do a bit more. Beat us up a bit more. Oh, you're illegal, don't know who you are. No, don't matter, in you come. Rape our women. Get on with it. Are you with me or are you against me? I've got to stop now, otherwise I'm going to blow a bloody gasket. Your opinion, please. This is a vital show. It's Gaunty. It's the John Gaunt podcast. I'm here every night at 6 o'clock. Well, Monday to Thursday. Sundays about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be doing a show tomorrow, but it'll be before 6 because Friday I go out. But I do want your opinion. And if you like what I'm doing, press the like button. That really helps the algorithm. And if you'd like to donate, click the little $ and donate as much as you wish. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Let's go. Taxi driver 2107 says, good evening, John. Good evening. Isn't it funny that these migrants are now using typical English names? They even speak any English. They couldn't even pronounce their newly given names. I don't know what you're on about, mate. I haven't heard them do that, but what point are you making? You've confused me. Anyway, that's not the best way to start. They need to get them out of the country. Britain and the British people cannot keep sustaining them. Starmer's lack of care for the British people. Where are our human rights? Pam Millett. That's exactly the point, Pam. We need to deter, detain, and then deport. How have we ended up with over 100,000 of them here? And they're just the ones who have come in via Dover. I think we should have an emergency census because I think there's millions of people in this country who shouldn't be here. We've got to get on top of it. But part of that detain, deter, and deport is got to be that you put them in army camps, but you don't let them out. 500 young lads of fighting age, wherever they come from in the world, all together with no older people, no younger people, nobody moderating their behaviour and their attitudes. It's a powder keg. They then go into the local village. We know what's going to happen, don't we? What is it? What is it that this and the previous government don't understand, John, says Lena Tail? That I don't want to contribute now 1 penny to keep these scroungers. I'm not sure they're scroungers, Lena. They're coming for a better life. But if you create a loophole like we have done, or the governments have done, successive governments, you can't really blame them, can you? And young men, 17, 18, 19, up to about the age of 30, will know what men are like that, all together. It's nothing to do with race or religion on that level, although their background, where they come from countries where they don't respect women, doesn't help. But you put a group of men together, it's, what's that thing? Lord of the Flies, isn't it? People will turn into animals. I've just been watching, I told you about this the other day, Nuremberg, which I think is a brilliant film. But basically the conclusion of that film is, I've still got this cough, I do apologise, is that we all have the capability to be evil. You're not born evil. It depends on what you're exposed to. Well, that's what Starmer's doing, like this big socialist experiment. Well, if he's so keen on it, why don't you get the bastards to come and live with you? Or have you got too many Ukrainian white rent boys lodging at your house? All this is doing is shifting the problem from hotels, John, to HMOs and former military bases, instead of tackling it head on and starting mass removals. We need a Trump ICE approach here. That's Henry Ives, 5978. Henry's written some good stuff on X or Twitter today. I've been reading your stuff, Henry. Very interesting. Don't agree with it all, but you're right. It's got to be deter, detain, and deport. And despite what that stupid uber-liberal Emily Maitlis says, and I've had a row with another bloke today who said, I'm a journalist and you're a disgrace to the profession. Well, I'm not a journalist, you dickhead. I'm a commentator, and I've got a right to say whatever I want to say, just like you have. But he said, oh, it's disgusting what that fascist Trump is doing, getting people thrown out of the country. Well, they shouldn't be in the country. I remember when Theresa May started that hostile environment. People objected to that. No. If somebody has broken into our country illegally, we should be hostile towards them. I'm not saying bread and water. I'm not saying we should beat them up. But we should say to them, what you've done is wrong. And we're not going to subsidise it. Jim Garfield, thank you, my friend. He just donated £5. And he says, it's treason by stealth. Sneaking them in at 3:30 like criminals, due to the locals saying no. Taxpayers' cash will be also used to fight any legal local challenge. You bang on the money, mate. Jim, thanks for your contribution, by the way, but you are bang on the money. That happened at the Bell Hotel in Epping. They used your money, your government did, to fight the idea of it being stopped. And they thought that was acceptable. And they even said the rights of the migrants, the illegals, the criminals, come above your rights. Why are we letting Starmer get away with this? And also, please focus on this idea and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I say the very fact that they bust them in last night at 3:30 in the morning, according to GB News, is proof that they know they're doing wrong. And what I also noticed today, GB News obviously have gone big on it. I haven't seen much attention on other media outlets. I think the BBC have mentioned it on their internet site. But why? The mainstream media, as we know, we keep saying it, they're in bed with people like Starmer. They're all the same. And they're conning you. They're absolutely conning you. Isn't it funny that these migrants are now... You've just said that a moment ago, taxi driver. It didn't mean anything before. Think about what you're saying. I agree with you entirely, says Kathy Rayner. I can read that one out. It's simple. Where are we going next? John, I lived in Crowborough in the 80s, and my daughter was born there. That's interesting. Gutless Starmer, you are wrecking our relationship with America and not facing Donald Trump. What does he do? He hides in Chequers to meet the Danish Prime Minister. Exactly. We've got a coward. We've got a spineless amoeba, a blancmange as Prime Minister. But it's dangerous because when he does get a backbone, it's to basically attack us. We're the terrible people. We're the far right. Well, I don't think I'm far right at all. I'm quite liberal when it comes to migration. I actually believe well-controlled immigration has done this country good. But I do now also agree with mass deportations of people who shouldn't be here, who should never have been here in the first place. I do agree with tightening our borders so it's so tight, no one can get in. Look, if Hungary can do it, Poland can do it, Australia can do it, United States of America can do it, why can't we? Well, we can. There just isn't a political will. There wasn't a political will with Boris. He let in 1 million. There wasn't really a political will with Rishi, the lettuce, let's forget her. And there's no political now with Calamity Starmer. None at all. Sorry, that's Lammy's nickname, isn't it? Starmer is a dangerous traitor to this country. Now let the Chinese embassy go ahead with massive risk to national security. Yeah, that's going ahead. That's into the Lords now. And he's saying that's happening. He's so arrogant. It's happening. I think he'll do a U-turn because I think it's been kiboshed by Trump. And I think that's why he didn't go and see Trump, because he didn't want to have that row as well. And he didn't want to have the row about Chagos. But the Chagos thing, that's just not going to happen. Sorry, that's the one I wanted to... I'm getting confused with me moral dilemmas. Trump is not going to let the Chagos thing go. No way. But I think when he gets a grasp on the Chinese embassy, he'll try and put his boot in there as well. And I noticed today, the media, the mass media, the controlled media, they're trying to play it out as if he got a win. Sorry, that Trump lost yesterday. Nonsense. Some bloke said, he called Greenland Iceland 4 times. Yes, well, he did. Have you ever tried doing a live speech for an hour and a half and not make a mistake, mate? It's what I said to him on Twitter. But also, does it matter? We know what he meant. And if we want to start talking like that, what about Joe Biden? He didn't know what bloody day it was. He didn't know that he had to take his trousers off to have a poo. And you're criticising Trump. Trump, who flew all the way from America, had to do a U-turn and go back because the plane was playing up 3 hours into the flight, eventually got back on a smaller plane, came straight from the airport in his helicopter and delivered a speech. As far as I can see, he hasn't stopped. I'm not saying everything that Trump says is right, but at least with Trump, he's trying to do the best for his people. I don't get that impression with Starmer, do you? After the army camp, John, it'll be houses for them spread about the country. Starmer ruined this country, and it's only just the beginning. The clock is ticking. Scotty Darling on YouTube, I don't mean darling to you, but that's his name. You're right. What they do is they fast track now the asylum, so they're allowed to stay. Once they get in, then it'll be, their need is greater. They've got more children than you. They get a council house. We can't do this, because what happens is it turns ordinary Brits into a position where they resent these people. I've said to you before, the illegal migrants, of course they're illegal, and of course they've got to be deterred, detained, and deported. No question about it. However, it's not the individual's fault, is it? They're doing it because it's so bloody easy. And this government and previous governments have wanted the illegals like they're a bogeyman. Like when we were kids, if you're a bad person, you're naughty, Father Christmas won't come. Or the gypsies. We used to use the gypsies or travellers, didn't we? As if they were the bogeyman. It's wrong. But that's what the establishment is doing now. Can't you see it? I can. I think it's as clear as anything. David KT. This has been going on for decades, John, including our Coventry girl, Charlene Downs, murdered in Blackpool in November 2003, age 14. This isn't by mistake. It's mistake. No, this isn't by mistake. It's by design. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I understand where you're coming from. Thank you for your comments, David KT. We love you guys. And thank goodness for the best president ever, Donald J. Trump, says Stein Hasseldahl. I think they're calling in from America. Who's harbouring these illegal immigrants? That's also a crime in itself. You don't have to harbour them. The government give them a bloody house, give them squeezy soap, gives them a Hilton 4-star hotel. Now they're going to give them an army camp. Pathetic. Let's just go back to what he's saying. Den speaks. It's also a crime in itself to harbour them, yet thousands are set free to disappear. Labour do not give a toss. It's obvious, isn't it? Labour and Starmer must go ASAP. Well, Den, you're right on lots of levels, but it's more than just Labour. The Tories were just as bad. And as for that Liberal Democrat, and then you got that idiot from the Green Party, the tit whisperer, Polanski, he wants to let everybody in. We shouldn't have borders. There's no need for borders. Also last century. Shut up, you Burke. The problem is there's a whole class of people who these people are not going to come in and take their jobs, are they? I shouldn't imagine most of these illegal immigrants say, oh, yeah, I want to be a journalist. I want to be an MP. I want to be Prime Minister. No, they want the jobs that you've got. And that's the problem. But if you say that, they call you a racist. It's like the whole line about diversity is our strength. No, it isn't. We're a country. We've got, meant to have borders. We've got traditions. We've got culture. What brings our strength is unity. That doesn't mean we can't accept new people and new ideas and new bits of culture, new food and all that. Of course we can. But the predominant idea has to be that we're a Christian country based on tolerance, etc. So we shouldn't accept the burqa. I'm sorry if that upsets you. We shouldn't accept it. End of. Why has there ever been a discussion about these things? And you're right. Densping says then they disappear. You're right. Do you know if you fail your asylum thing, you just get a letter saying, sorry, you got to leave. And then these guys will leave Crowborough. Do you think they'll go to the nearest ferry port? Or do you think they'll be going, what's the number for EasyJet to get me back to the Sudan? No, they'll just disappear into the so-called black economy. And there'll be multinational companies. Yes, I'm talking about you, Deliveroo. And companies like that who are more than willing to turn a blind eye and let them deliver a lukewarm pizza to you. Don't use them. Right, Jackie Ward, if these so-called asylum seekers were really fleeing from persecution, they'd be grateful to stay in an army camp because at least they'd be safe. They would be grateful to be warm and dry with full stomachs and not fearing for their lives. So why doesn't the government just do that? But they have to be locked in until we've assessed them and their claim. It's not that difficult to work out, is it, John? Thank you, Jackie. You're right. Once they've been, we know who they are, etc., etc., I haven't really got a problem then. But I have got a problem when we're putting them in our schools and they've got beards and we're meant to pretend they're 11 years old. Or they're doing things that we just know are socially unacceptable, but we're diversity. And you know when I say these things, my mates, who some of them are diverse, have come from different backgrounds, or their parents have, they agree with me. This isn't a white versus whatever. It isn't. It's plain common sense. What about all the teenagers that are going missing? I don't understand what you mean by that, Pamela. Give me some more information. John, what happens when we totally run out of hotel rooms and military camps? Because in 5 years, we'll have another 300,000. You're right. That's a very good point, Leanne. The point is, it's unsustainable. That's why we've got to control our borders. I can't believe they're getting in. Hitler couldn't get in. How come this lot can? Hitler's big mistake, he should have got them all dressed in designer. Oh, well, he could have got Adidas, couldn't he? That's a political joke. He could have got them all in Adidas tracksuit bottoms and flip-flops. They'd have walked in. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? Shush, we're the Third Reich. We're coming to take over. But you're wearing flip-flops. I don't care. We're tough, we are. We've got into your country. Anyway, enough of that. Alien Intelligence Agency, good man. He's contributed before. You'll find them next door having a peek over the fence. I don't know what that means. Hi, John. Watching you on X for the first time. I've loved you since your talk radio days. Thank you, K-Man. Listen, if you're watching on X, the best watching experience is actually on YouTube. Go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. It's free. You don't have to pay. It just means then you will always know when I'm doing a show because we notify you. And I'm trying to get my numbers up. If you really like what I'm doing, K-Man, how about making a little donation, a $5 or a couple of quid? Just press the $sign on your screen now, or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I've got to get rid of this cold. It's killing me. I do apologize. Cricky Holmes, sorry. Put them in army camps and tell them to fight for our country. Why would you want to do that? There's Brits who won't fight for our country. I wouldn't fight for Starmer if I was a younger man. I think that's the next problem he's going to have. Oh, we're right with you, Zelensky. Look, here's all we knew. Where are you gone? Because in terms of fighting for him, he'd be about as popular as Rowan Atkinson in, what do you call it? Not Mr. Bean. What was it? Blackadder. No one's going to follow you into battle, Starmer, you wimp. Let's move on. Karen Edge. We have no rights. So why are we in the ECHR? That's a nice one. Thank you. Kathy Rayner. She just put loads of thumbs up and loads of flags of St. George and the Union flag. I presume you like the show. Thank you, Kathy. Tell all your friends. Paul Crowborough and the cadets kicked off the camp. I'm fuming about it, says Vanessa. Vanessa Hawkins. That's a good point, actually. They kicked out all the young lads, didn't they? And lasses who were training and practicing there. Disgraceful. There he is. There's Jim Garfield with his £5 contribution. Thank you, Jim. You're such a generous man. You've donated so many times. I really appreciate it. He says it's treason by stealth, sneaking them in at 3:30 like criminals due to the locals saying no. Taxpayers' cash will be used to fight any legal challenge. You are so correct. That is what's going to happen. That'll be the next outrage. It's my human rights. Yeah, but it's British people paying your legal fees. Anyway, where are we? All spineless Starmer's fault, says Ian Trotman. Migrants. Public don't want them. Labour ignores us. Digital ID. Public don't want it. Labour ignore us. This is a good message. Chinese mega embassy. Public doesn't want it. It goes ahead. Do you spot a pattern yet, John? K-Man, I know you've just started watching me. You're a good man. They have brilliant points. And I missed a few of those out. You're right. Starmer is becoming a dictator. It's his way or the highway. We've got to somehow break this. I don't know how, but it can't carry on. That's it, John. Get in about these so-and-sos. I don't understand what that means. 100%, all the same. All in same bad. Well said, John. Thank you. I think you mean all in the same boat. He is looking for a war to keep him in power. He was too scared to face Trump at Davos. You're right. Oh, he'd love a war. He'd love a war, Trevor Wicks. He definitely would. And he's going to send... That's what's going to happen. I can see it now. Our boys and girls sent to die in Ukraine. It's just mad. It's just bonkers. Why have we given the Chinese that embassy? Why? On any level. I mean, even for his own political survival, he needs his head examining. Why not pally up with Trump rather than Europe? Europe can't defend anything. That's been proved in 2 wars, at the risk of sounding like Donald Trump. But they won't stand by us. They won't. The coalition of the willing, as I say, coalition of the flipping useless. Paul Rowbottom, I think Starmer and co. views our once great country as a block to his globalist agenda and is using the illegals as a means to bring in emergency laws and stop future elections. Well, a lot of people have said that, and I think that could definitely be the case, Paul. Because if you think about why is he letting them in, and then you think about scrapping trials by jury, and then you think about free speech being attacked, and then you think about ID cards, and then you think about control of the population, he's almost got it sorted, hasn't he? And then he will be the supreme leader forever. And then people tell me the real threat is Donald Trump. I don't think so. Craig Conlon Toey, cool, we can too. Don't know what that means, but it's loads of smiley faces. Alien Intelligence Agency, there's no point in sending in memes or little GIFs or whatever they're called. I told you, John, it's only a matter of time before Chairman Starmer sends us all a little copy of his red book. Not his red book I want to see, it's his other book. But anyway, it's a different issue. You've seen the migrant or replacement order by the UN for all countries, says Pouncey 452. Yes. Niven Casey. Hi, John. By the way, Niven, thank you for your contribution this morning. Hi, John. The more this goes on, the more I think this is all by design. Well, that's what I'm kind of saying, Niven. The establishment hates the general population and employs divide and rule to remain in power. Well said, my friend. Well said. All right, I'm going to have to stop in a minute because I'm getting all clogged up. My operation was cancelled as it's 50% chance it will work. They keep saying the waiting lists are down. It's because they keep cancelling treatments and operations. I feel for you, but that's a separate issue to what we're talking about tonight. But thank you for making the point. Right. Very slow on the donations today. Very slow. If some pay $5,000 to get here, then someone must be funding the cost of some of these economic illegal migrants to get here. Well, do you know what, Den? I don't think it does cost $5,000. I think there's a lot of bullshit. Is this idea as well that they're people smugglers? I don't think the people who are in the boat have not decided they wanted to come. So I just think that's nonsense. I just think that's nonsense. Not you, but what they say about the costs. What people should remember, this Crowborough training camp was used back to World War I and World War II. Apparently, they're trying to get an injunction on the government's decision. I bought you a beer. We all need a drink after today. Thank you, Terry. You buy me a drink nearly every day. Thank you, my friend. It's appreciated. What would you just say? Yeah, the local people and the council now are trying to get an injunction. We won't win because what are the judges? All uber liberals. And whose pocket are they in? Starmer's mob. Exactly. Remember, the Royal Court on Epping say the right of one migrant outweighs any number of British people. I'm not sure they quite said that, but you're right. I'm considering moving to Hungary, says David KT. That's if they need a 63-year-old ex-tank commander, because this nation's 12th hour is already here. Yeah, the invasion. You're right. We have been invaded. There's no two ways about it. I've got nothing personally against these individuals who have come, but I would want to know who they are. Why wouldn't you want to know that? And why is it acceptable for Starmer to put them in our communities? How many more? I've said this before. How many more girls need to be raped before Starmer thinks, oh, that might be a mistake, that? How many more raped or sexually assaulted? Like I say, there was one today. I was going to mention it, but I think I've lost it. I had it on my mobile phone. Some guy today chatted up this girl. She says, no, clear off, whatever, followed her home and raped her. I think he was from Trinidad or somewhere. I don't know. Niven Casey, funny how sovereignty and borders mattered where it's Ukraine and Greenland, but not where it's the UK. Fight for Starmer and then end up with him and his mates taking you to court. I don't think so. That's a very, very good point indeed. That's a very good point. Jeffrey says, this is a crime against the people. He is a traitor. Pam Millett, there's been many teenagers going missing. Oh, you just clarifying what you said earlier. Thank you, Pam. There's been many teenagers going missing throughout Britain in the last year, also this year. Police have been concerned about their welfare, mostly teenage girls, but there's also been some teenage boys. I must admit, I haven't read that, Pam, but thanks for telling me. Anybody know anything else about that? If you do, tell me now. Maybe Serco's funding them. Funding who? The illegal immigrants? Yeah, probably. That's one way of making sure they keep in business, isn't it? It's just pathetic. But you get to that kind of point where you're thinking, you almost think, well, I hope somebody's making money out of this. I hope somebody's got a plan, because our government's certainly not got a plan to stop it, have they? It's all just crazy. Spot on, John. Something ethical, cynical about what money was sent in France. Where's that being spent? Thank you, Dan. Right, that's me done. Thank you very much for a good show. I'll be back tomorrow at some point, well, as long as something's happening, although I've got a feeling a lot's going to happen overnight today. Don't forget, you can all see all my old shows or listen to them again. The best way of doing that is to subscribe. 31 people have pressed the like button. That's good. So subscribe to John Gaunt TV on YouTube. It doesn't cost anything. That means you get notification every time we're going live. You can also get access to there's 2,500 videos uploads, but some of them are duplicates, so it's not like I've produced that many. But I have produced a lot, but not that many. So that's there if you want to do that. If you'd like to contribute to keep these things going, and it's very important you do, please do that by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or you can click the $sign here on YouTube and send me a super sticker or whatever it's called, or you can buy stars on Facebook. There's loads of ways of doing it. Every little helps to keep this thing going. Jackie Ward, there she is, as per usual, with me 3 hearts. Oh, by the way, what about the magnificent Sky Blues the other night? I forgot to talk about that. 6 points out of 6. That's not bad, is it? Now we've got to do Norwich on Monday. I got quite disappointed. I looked earlier and think, it'll be a good game on Saturday. I'll watch that. I'm bound to be on Sky, that one. It's not on Saturday. It's on Monday. Bloody messing with the games. Den Spink says, there's loads of coffees coming your way soon, John. Thank you, Den. That's very kind of you. All right, that's me done. Have a great night. Speak to you tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely speak to you on Sunday afternoon. So until we meet again, try and keep sane if you can. It's very difficult. And don't forget, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.